America, fuck yeah. Coming again to save the motherfucking day. Yeah, America, fuck yeah.
Hello.
Oh, damn it again.
Freedom is the only way. Yeah,
Fight.
Fight.
Are we fighting? We're
Joe
trying.
Biden isn't fighting. That's clear to America.
I don't think he's doing anything.
America, fuck yeah.
Anyway,
America,
fuck. This is Casturbation, and yeah.
We just played an entire song, which is against copyright, and hopefully
Copyrighting?
YouTube doesn't flag us for it. But
Anyway,
if they do, you know
that's
what
David.
I'm doing. I'm silencing.
This is Michael. This is Casturbation. We got to start there first.
Anyway, so if it fucks with it, I'll just silence it, and we won't have to deal with it. But
And all you have to know is that it was a song of sadness.
it was the Bummer remix of America. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
According to the soundtrack of the film,
Yeah.
which we are milking right now,
Yeah.
creatively piggybacking on the much superior satirical commentary on American
Those
life
cow's tits
in 2004.
of Team America. 2004. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah. We're in 2024? What
20
year is
years
this?
ago, you know.
Oh, my God. That's right.
And who knew
They
where
did.
we'd be?
Who knew that they would...
The Simpsons knew.
Wow, yeah.
You know, that old thing.
Actually, they don't know anymore.
The Simpsons, yeah, they're off the rails.
Yeah, they suck.
None of the people who predicted all that stuff are actually there writing it.
They're all dead.
They have ChatGPT writing
All right.
The Simpsons at this point.
So it's been a couple crazy weeks.
It's been crazy.
So where do we start? Do we start with Twisters or do we start with
Joe Biden dropping out of the presidential race.
ones?
Let's address that one first.
All right, we'll do that because I just found out about
The
it.
news
Yeah,
segment.
the news.
We're going to lead with the news every episode from here on out. Topical stuff. We'll get out of the way, and then we can lean into the timeless shit. The stuff that's going to... It'll stand the test of time, you know what I mean?
Poop jokes,
So we
anything
can-
you could think
yeah,
of.
exactly, you know.
All right, so Joe Biden is like, I'm tired.
I'm sick. And that's where it started.
I'm sick and tired.
He just tweeted out, I'm sick, and he had COVID. And
Great
everyone's
default
just
song.
like, all right, Jesus. All right. He's like, yeah, Trump's getting shot and getting up and screaming fight. And he's getting sick. And it's like, all right, what are my choices at this point? What is my path?
I mean, how do you beat Trump after that happened? So he's like, shit.
I don't know. I really don't know what you do because that's
You
just gonna
you make a woman.
that's going to galvanize so many of the, undecided, so to speak. And when people are just like, well, those don't exist when it comes to Trump, it's like, well, then get out of your bubble because they definitely do. You know what I mean? There's plenty of people that are just like, they kind of lean one way or another because they don't buy into all the bullshit about Trump. And then they also are, aren't necessarily on the side of the establishment,
The
so
proletariat.
to speak. Well, not
kidding.
that, actually.
Just kidding.
A complete opposite of that.
I know.
Anyway.
It's a fun word, though.
Yeah, Michael just likes throwing around words. That sound cool.
That's what I
Based.
do. It's like I skateboard around and just throw out adverbs. And
He's pretty based. Not going to lie.
so, yeah, like they definitely saw the writing on the wall after the ear was shut.
I mean, what a crazy thing to happen. You know what I mean? I mean, I feel like we may have not. So, what have we learned since last week? It's basically like the Secret Service is totally incompetent. Apparently, it's astounding, and it's just hard because it just the way it looks. You know what I mean? The way it looks, and may or may not have been
The way it looks is the way it is.
I mean, the way it looks.
I mean,
The way it looks, I mean, it's tough, man.
so I will ask this. Has anybody ever been like, I'm just not running again? President-wise?
I think like Gerald Ford, but he didn't even get elected. You know, he just ascended. He ascended to the throne after Nixon quit. But Ford was just like, yeah, I don't want to. I didn't really even want to fucking be president. Like,
All right, Gerald. I mean, this is this is Jover.
and then that's where we get Jimmy Carter after him. Because,
And he just
because
lost.
Republicans tanked their fucking brand so much that they elected Jimmy Carter.
I mean, Jimmy
Everyone
Carter
loves
seems
Jimmy
like
Carter.
Yeah, because he actually looked like he was like, I actually am giving some nuance to some of these decisions, and
Everyone
started
sucks
doing my
Jimmy Carter's
Trump.
dick, but let me be real.
He's still alive. Everyone else is dead. Bill
I'm
Clinton.
going to go against the
Wait.
grain on the Jimmy Carter opinion.
He was very indecisive, I suppose.
I
And
think
that's
his-
why people didn't like him.
I think it's one of those cases where it's like maybe like good domestic policy, bad foreign policy, where it's like, because then that's the thing with Reagan, it's like bad domestic policy, good foreign policy, because he obviously had a hand in dismantling the
Tear
Soviet
down
Union.
that wall.
Yeah, and all that stuff. But there's also the whole, suppressing AIDS medications and all this fucking shit.
Whoops.
And the crack in the CIA inventing crack, and that's also
The crack and the
under-
CIA
under him.
inventing crack.
the crack and then the CIA with the crack and the CIA.
This is the Kraken, it's Cthulhu.
Release the Kraken into. That's what he was like. He was definitely like release the Kraken.
But
into
hey, seems like he's a nice guy though. He's still alive. Isn't he like 100 years old?
who?
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. If he is alive, he
Let's
must
call
be
him.
100 years old. I mean, I can try and look those things
Don't
up,
look it
Michael.
up. No, we know him. We have his phone number. So basically, yeah, I don't think anybody is like not run again because the hubris and the ego for most people. If you want to be president, you know what I'm saying? So Joe Biden's like, I'm about to die. I'm tired. Like, I can't do this shit for 4 more years. And he knows he's probably going to lose. So then it brings us to the other point, right?
All right.
Which is
Only a handful of first-term presidents in American history have not sought a second term, the last being Rutherford B. Hayes, who declined to run in the 1880 election. James
Great.
Buchanan and James Polk also chose not to seek presidency a second time.
They probably were like, fuck this shit.
So there you go. There's your answer, Michael.
So there's 4 out of what? 47?
46 currently.
46. Okay. Oh, yeah. Until the crazy person comes out of the...
45, 47. He's coming.
Or she's coming.
Well, no, 45, 47 is going to be Trump. But
I
like,
know.
but she, if
Kamala.
Kamala,
Caramel.
Caramel,
Oh, God. That's terrible.
you said it.
Yes. Because we're terrible here at Casturbation.
So, what did you think she's got a better chance than Biden to win?
Of course.
Really?
Not that much. But a little bit.
Really?
She's a woman.
Are you
She's not going to die in 2 seconds.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Like I said, because she's a woman, and women will vote for... Oh, my God. We try to be funny here. So, like, she's a woman, and she's not white, and she's not going to die in 2 seconds, as I said. Like, Joe Biden probably would pass the fuck out one day, giving State of the Union. So let me tell you, Mark.
I don't know. Do you think she has it? You know what I mean? And I'm not talking
No,
about serious, like a serious breakdown and assessment of the candidate here. You know, I'm talking about it.
It's a better
You know what I mean?
chance.
You know
Well,
what I
here's
mean?
the thing. There people that hate Trump so much, now you have her. It's like, oh, yeah.
But does she have it? You know what I mean? You know what it is, right? It's like Obama had it. He has it. You know what I
had it.
mean? Like when he still does. When you hear him talk, like, he has it. You can tell. And then there's certain guys, even Biden to an extent had it.
See,
Maybe
I don't
not
think
quite so much anymore.
Well, I
but-
don't think it's the fact that she has it. It's
But there's
that she's not
there's
Donald
the
Trump.
It factor.
Well,
Well,
that's
there's
the thing.
But see, that Biden didn't simply just win on that last time. You know what I mean? A lot of people
almost did.
want to say that, like, oh, well, Biden was just not Donald Trump. But no, Biden, he had pretty strong coalition behind him, and he's been pretty present in a lot of the, in inner cities, communities, and stuff like that. And
This is
so,
true.
like, he's no slouch when it comes to organizing.
At least he wasn't.
No, for sure wasn't. So, but that's my point. It's like, do you think? Because like I don't know that she has it to like where she can get those people really on board with her. Like Biden did. Like he had it. Obama has it.
To be honest, no, because I think it's completely different. I'm like, even with Biden,
Clinton had it like big time.
Yeah, he played a saxophone.
I mean, he had it. And so it's just like, and Trump has, you know what I mean? He has, there's that thing that you have when you are a charismatic fucking person. You can just,
no, I think
people
when it came,
are attracted to you as a leader for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And it's not a tangible or something that we can break down with numbers, right? You know, it's the thing. It's an it factor. It's that thing that candidates just have sometimes. You know, they're it. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, that's the guy. You know, clearly standing out amongst the rest of them. You know, there's usually somebody. So that's what I'm saying.
There is
like,
nobody in the Democrats they can pick that has the it factor of Donald Trump.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody can. Can't imagine anybody else in a debate with
vote
him.
just against him.
No,
like,
yeah, sure. No, for definitely, like, Donald Trump obviously is good at motivating people against him. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I mean, he had Hulk fucking Hogan.
But, yeah, he did just get fucking shot at. So, like,
he got shot at. He had Hulk Hogan, like, introducing him.
We'll see how that plays with the calculus. I mean, some people are convinced that, like...
It's brutal calculus.
Like, I mean, like, yeah, like, what do you do? Like, if you're the Democrats, like, what do you do against that? You know, like,
you know what?
How do you...
I'm 35. I will run.
How do you say? I mean, like you can try and say he's a threat to democracy, but then he's also a victim of also almost being, you know, from somebody who really was a threat to democracy, right? Like if that shooter succeeds, like that's they are effectively destroying the democratic process.
Get this. So get this. So like I actually just thought about this. So imagine he got killed, and then Joe Biden is like, I'm probably gonna dip out anyway because I can't do this because I'm sick.
Yeah.
And dying.
Yeah.
So what if, like, at the last second, it's like, and now we have 2 new candidates out of nowhere?
Right.
Like, who would it be? Like I said, I'm like, hey, I'll run for whoever you want.
We were centimeters away from that reality. I mean, isn't that insane?
Millimeters.
Is it crazy, too? Like, I don't even know, man. Like,
so it's like we could have, like, some random, probably, like, Jeb Bush might be like, I'm going to try again.
Yeah, but I mean, guess who?
Or there's RFK, you know,
Who's
RFK
swooping
Jr.
in, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, RFK might actually have a shot at that point. You know what I mean? You think about it because he's been there the whole time.
Just hanging out.
Hey.
In the background.
Guys, I've been here.
He's the one who shot the gun. He's like, shit.
Oh, God. Yeah, sure. It serves his interest.
Yeah, he's like, shit. He's like, I know this is terrible,
but I mean, what a wild fucking man. What a
yeah. I mean,
politics.
Seriously. So we get the guy that everyone was thinking might win, gets shot at, almost killed, and then our current president is like, I'm done. So what happens for the next few months? I'm like, is he doing his job still?
Well, that's a big question. I think the Speaker of the House called on him to resign immediately. If you can't run for re-election, then you should have no business being in the office. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's kind of the way he's framing that.
I mean, that's the way the law works, right?
What do you mean the way the law works?
What I'm saying, I'm like, isn't that supposed to be like, well, if you can't do your job, you can't do your job. Yeah, I'm just going to chill here in the White House for like 3 more months.
Yeah, I mean...
Or till January.
I don't know the implications of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, see, we here at Casturbation, we know nothing about like the intricacies of law, but
you know, maybe he does, you know, but I don't see a scenario where that's the case.
Well, can he still like write a bunch of crazy bills or something like that? Like,
I doubt it, but you know, if a Supreme Court justice dies within the next 3 months or something, or retires, I doubt any of them are going to, but like would retire. But you know, right?
What if they all get shot?
But in you know, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. That's it. Casturbation. We'll see. Let's see what happens.
Name of the episode. We'll see.
We'll see. You know, maybe this, maybe that.
No, but yeah, it's wild times out there.
Yeah, it's wild times.
Wild times.
Speaking of wild times.
This was Tim Dillon was making fun of people. He's just like, people are just like, wild times. He's like trying to be all disconnected and cool. And I was just like, yeah, no, he's right. Like, you know, Trump getting shot at really is a big deal. And like a lot of people are trying to downplay it. And it's like it's really is like a watershed moment in American politics, and especially take away the fucking optics of it. You know what I mean? I don't even care about the photo really, even though it is obviously an incredible photo. But like,
it's a photo that's going to go down in history.
Yeah, that's gonna 100 years from now. That's gonna be somewhere.
And it's like remember in 2024 when some fucking kid fight. Here's this asshole Donald Trump.
Yeah, and so anyway.
Fight.
Like irregardless. Even it's not a term. Don't use that term, people, unless you're a fucking Goomba Italian. Yeah, don't use it. Anyway,
Casturbation.
Regardless of that, any of that,
Regardless.
like Trump getting shot at, really is a fucking huge deal because like we just haven't had that happen. I mean, thankfully, a president hasn't been assassinated since Kennedy.
Yeah,
we haven't had a president assassinated since Kennedy.
Over 60 years ago.
We had Reagan get shot, and we've had Trump get shot, and Trump obviously.
And Bush had shoes thrown at him.
Bush did have shoes thrown at him, and as funny as that is,
he had a grenade thrown at him.
But I don't know.
But it didn't go off.
But the shoes are fucking hilarious. But you know what? Honestly, it's like it's like I can't be like
episode name.
I can't be mad about Trump getting shot if fucking I laugh at the shoes. You know what I mean? It's like it. Even though the shoes are not getting the same as getting shot at, I don't think. But
well, see, because in the Middle East,
Trump has some fucking. I mean, Bush has some reflexes, though. God damn,
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo,
dodged it twice.
Yo, so like after 9/11 happened, and he threw the first pitch at a Yankees game. Man, he threw a strike wearing body armor. I'm like, damn, that's my president.
Well, see, that's
even though he then led us to wars that we didn't need to be into. But hey, whatever. He loved baseball.
It's just a shame that, like, it's one of those cases where it's like, and that's the way it has been for a lot of presidents, where it's like the Beatles. You know what I mean? They have one of them is like the face, and the other is like the one that's really kind of pulling the strings. And so it was Bush and Cheney, right? It's like Cheney was the real, and Bush just kind of letting him run amok. You know what I mean? It's like Bush just didn't really give. Like, he was a frat boy. Remember? It's just like he didn't really give a shit.
Well, I will say this: as time has gone on, from like some of the things I've seen, and like he paints and like writes books. George W. Bush seems like Junior seems like a reasonably intelligent person. I mean, I don't think you can be president if you're not. I mean, I don't agree with almost everything he did.
I don't know. I don't necessarily like George W. Bush, but at the same time,
what I'm saying.
It's like, yeah, I understand who he is, and he's similar to Reagan in the sense that like Reagan was also just like he's just like a face. You know what I mean? He's charismatic, and it was the people he let.
A face is a good way to describe it.
Run amok. You know what I mean? He lets all these other people kind of run amok.
Thing, like,
and do
honestly,
these real bad policies, and again, the domestic policy.
He probably would not even have won the second time if 9/11 didn't happen. Because remember, like, they didn't even know who won for a second. Him and Al Gore, because of Florida. They're like, where are the votes? And that's been happening.
Like, this shit goes back. There's people that still hold on to that election that are like, Gore should have won it. It was, like, stolen. And, like, this shit matters, right? Like, but, hey, what am I going to say? I don't know. I honestly really wish that somebody else other than Dick Cheney was in the was in charge of policy when 9/11 happened. And though it's hard to even say...
he was licking his lips the second it happened. I bet you he didn't even feel any sympathy. He's like, holy shit, I work for Halliburton. I can do all this shit. Oh, man, we're going to war.
Well, see, what I hate about loose change, it's like loose change makes it seem like the government's like so in control and like so on top of this, where the reality was it's like, they have, who knows how many, rogue CIA, assets or like double agents, people playing how many sides here that are training people out in the fucking Middle East easily enough to fucking come to America, acquire pilot's licenses.
Great movie.
Like acquire pilot's licenses and like carry out these fucking terrorists. And they have the intel on it. They know it's going to happen.
Well,
they
same thing in a micro. Just to interrupt you, so it's like even in a microcosm, I'm like, we see, like, we know what's happening. You see that shooter about to shoot Trump, and we had the guys there, like, aimed on him.
Well, again,
it's like we know it's
similar,
about to happen.
Yeah, and this is kind of the point I was about to make.
We're typically funny.
The overarching point is that look at 9/11 in that sense, where it's like they ignored the signs because they're like, hey, they could have, with the intel they had, and after the fact they deploy air marshals, right? Random people on flights that are armed, of federal agents that can take action if somebody tries to like do a hijacking or do some funny business on a flight,
Some funny business.
And they know what are some high level targets, right? They're probably going to be coming out of like some fucking New York City airports, some Boston airports, somewhere in those areas. So it's like, easily enough could have deployed air marshals ahead of time, could have taken some precautionary measures, but because that's what we know of the memo that they had in August. Like that was the only thing that ever really came out about it, because think about all the stuff that's like under wraps, that you can keep legally as
God.
president.
There's probably some guy who like called somebody and be like, oh, by the way, this is about to happen.
With executive privilege and all that stuff, the stuff that you can keep from the public eye. Like imagine what they actually did know on like the level of intel that they had. And so they may have not known the exact date this shit was going to go down, but like all you have to do is just let this tragedy happen, right? Let this occur. And two, it's the digital age. They're looking for a way into fucking tracking everybody's texts, everybody's phone calls.
Are you talking about
we
like,
need a
what
way
just
to do
happened
this
with Trump or 9/11?
We're talking about 9/11 right now.
So I'm saying, because
so,
the digital age was still very young.
And so that's what allows them to get in with the Patriot Act. And so 9/11 was just an excuse basically that they used for the Patriot Act. They took advantage of that tragedy to get that through. They knew, again, what did they know? And so you look at this whole thing with fucking Trump, right? It's kind of a similar thing where they're kind of like, well, like, the Secret Service didn't have the resources, and, it's kind of like a similar thing. They're kind of like ignoring the issue until it actually becomes a fucking problem, and then let the tragedy occur, and then we'll fucking capitalize on it. And it just feels so similar in almost the setup, like, but they shooter fucked up. Trump lives, creates this fucking iconic ass photo. It's like, it's almost like it's backfired big time if your intent was to like take him out.
I mean, see now, because do you think Biden would have like dipped out if that had not happened? Because I don't think he would have. They probably would just have kept him up there. I mean,
if
I've heard people
this
say
hadn't
I would have
happened-
voted for his corpse instead of Trump.
So if this hadn't happened entirely, right? So if nobody even took a shot at
yeah.
him, right? Like it's just like
nothing.
no
happened.
attempt on him at
Nothing.
all. Does Biden stay in? I don't know, man. Like the pressure's been
After the debate, it was getting a little feisty.
It's been mounting. It's been pretty intense. I do feel like though in the past week since the attempt, it ramped up a ton.
Well, yeah, like I
The
said,
pressure
without
kind of-
that's what I'm saying. Without that, if that did not
I don't
happen,
know. Yeah, I still think he drops out because the pressure there. Like you have Pelosi, you have Obama, you have a lot of these people all kind of just like, nah, dude. Like,
and in fact, after the January 6th shit happened. So here, how about this? So I saw a movie called Twisters because we're gonna stop talking about politics.
yeah, no, sure, yeah. I just wanted to make that point though that some of this stuff sometimes it's like it does feel a bit like,
Hey, we live in a crazy world, and this might be the last time.
ignore the problems, ignore the glaring kind of like openings here where it's like, oh fuck, like something bad actually could happen.
I love openings.
And
I always
but
find
just
them.
because that's what the government does, right? Just let the shit happen and then capitalize on the issue. So anyway, yeah, Twisters.
The government capitalizes.
Yeah, man, they lied to us.
Yeah, man.
About everything.
Yeah.
So
Twisters. So it's the sequel to
Shine
Twister.
on, shine on.
We should have played that, but unfortunately we did not. So it's the greatest movie of all time. So like anytime you add an S to a movie, I mean you can't go wrong. Aliens.
So what's your review, Michael? Give us your review. Give the people your review.
give
The
me-
people were.
I
people
just
have been
saw it. My review. Okay.
All right, so you want me to go first?
No,
because
no, no.
I've had
I'm gonna
time?
go first. So the movie was stupid as shit, but I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I will say this, and this is terrible. So we live in a terrible climate. I wish there was more terrible tornado destruction. Is that bad to say?
I don't think so. I mean, you didn't think there was enough.
Oh, I wanted more.
Damn. All right.
So, like, see, this is one of the movies that I've seen that, like, the first scene is, like, probably the best scene in the movie.
it's pretty good. I mean, I thought some of the later scenes were pretty
So,
good
my
too,
favorite scene was the first scene and the scene when they were, like, hiding in a empty pool. But anyway, we'll get to that. And so... So, the first scene, when basically everybody dies, of course, except for the main character, spoiler alert, and whatever.
Spoiler alert.
And, you know, when, like, her boyfriend, it's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Well,
and
yeah.
then he gets swept away. And I'm like, how does she not get fucking swept away?
Because he was, like, on top of her, and there was, like, just enough. Yeah.
Just enough? How does wind...
He
how
was
do
holding on to
tornadoes-
her, and she was holding on to, like, a metal pipe. And so, like,
His
I
hand was on a pipe. I just saw this.
think- Okay. Well, he didn't hold on tight enough. Again.
That's what I'm saying. There's a ton of instances in this movie where people are not holding onto pipes.
Tight enough.
Yeah, and they're just getting swept away. I didn't. And second critique,
Uh-oh.
there was not one cow.
Well,
I saw chickens, but I don't want chickens. I want cows.
you know, I don't think we don't need to rehash.
Yes,
Honestly,
we do.
Honestly, I'm okay with that. Like,
It's a sequel.
fine. We don't need to rehash the cow.
Show me a
joke.
cow. Like, if I directed this movie, I would have a cow flying into a building and explode.
Honestly, the cows
And everyone would
the
laugh.
cows are pretty silly. You know, when you really think about it.
But there's chickens. The guy runs. You know, the whole movie's
a little
silly.
more. It's a little more forgivable, I think.
The chickens are more
A chicken
forgivable.
coop, hitting a big ass chicken coop, like it's like okay, I could see a chicken coop like flying through the air.
Well, I'm not saying they run
but like
into
a
the
living
cows.
cow, like rotating with the tornado.
Well,
is-
everyone else is getting torn up. It makes sense. It's a tornado. It's like I could see
Okay.
a cow flying around.
I honestly, I feel like the cows are a little silly in the original one, but we don't.
Yeah,
It's not.
It's
here nor there.
Twisters. You're telling me this movie's like the Schindler's List of tornado movies.
I'm not. But what is funny to me though is just the way it starts. It's just like that same old fucking cliche of just like, you know, like the
Horrible
tragedy
thing.
happens.
Yeah.
The tragedy happens. Our like, you know, amazingly talented main character retires. You know, and then the friend comes
5
back.
years later.
Friend comes back 5 years later, and it's just like, we have a chance to make things right.
Yeah,
and they're just
Javi.
like, you know, I can't do it. I'm out of the game. You know, it's just like that same old cliche. And then rebuffs, you know, the friend's just like, oh, well, I'm going to, you know, it wouldn't make sense for you not to. And then, you know, they just like, no, I can't do it. And then they eventually give in and go with them. But they're like,
I give you 1 week.
reluctantly.
1 week.
Reluctant. Yeah, I give you 1 week. Yeah. Reluctantly gives in.
Let's here. So I'll give you my pros and cons. Pros. Tornadoes.
Naders.
Cons. So I'll give you the top 5. So, first con, no cows. Second pro, there is a scene that they I wanted a food scene like the first one, and they almost got it with Kate's mom, the main character, Kate. She never says her last name. Because, like, Glenn Powell's, like, really trying to get it. Tyler is really trying to get it. Like, oh, a city girl. Like, what's going on? You know, I'm going to put my hat on again, you know.
You.
You know, and like, I like how
Glenn Powell. I'm a cowboy.
apparently apparently Kate has ignored her mother for, like, 5 years. It's like, I just randomly, like, she finds the key under, like, the button's, like, still here. Oh, by the way, it's me, Mom. Like, I would have been like, Mom, like, shotgun, you know, like, who the fuck is this? You know, it's like, oh, it's me, Mom.
I thought
like,
it was
all
going to
right.
be Helen Hunt.
Oh, it should have been. Man, the fact that they didn't have anybody. So that's a con. That's another con. No one from the first movie's in there. So, but back to the food. I'm like, but Kate's mom did make a ton of steak and basically all this food. And I'm like, keep showing me the food. Keep showing me the food. And it's like, so apparently, it's like we developed this device and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, show me the food.
Show me the food.
Show me the food. I'm like, I'm hungry. You know? I'm like, why'd you make so much food? And then I like how Kate's mom is just like, I invented Tyler just to like stay the night and and Kate's like, what, Mom? And I'm like, first of all, you stole the one guy's car.
Mom, don't invite the handsome dude to stay all night at our house.
Well, first of all, how did he find her? So that's always weird.
Because in the scene prior, she drops where she lives.
Yes, I know. It explains
and
it.
Also, he looks up her name and where she lives. He's like, okay.
From a news story.
A news story tells. So he's like, all right, well, how hard is it to find this? It's like fucking Oklahoma. How hard is it going to be to find somebody?
There's only 2 people that live in Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly. There's like 2 houses, so he probably picked one. It's like,
Can you imagine Glenn Powell shows up at the
a
other
coin
house?
flip, yeah.
He's like, how's it going? Where's Kate? And they're like, how's it going, partner?
Yeah.
And they just invite him in for food. That's when he shows up, because he even says he's not hungry when he shows up at the other place, because he already had like a full meal.
Full meal, yeah, at the other house, yeah.
It's like, sorry, I gotta go. Tips his hat.
Yeah,
like,
see, no, I don't
gotta
really,
go.
I don't really. So is that all your? Is that your list? Is your list?
No, my list isn't done.
Okay,
I'm just simply
continue.
going
All
into
right,
it.
go.
I just saw this. I am literally twisting through my mind.
All right, twist away. Okay,
Yeah.
say it.
So, well, like I said, I'm just hungry. And so, it's kind of like a half pro, half con. I'm like, I see food,
Okay.
So con, there's not enough callbacks because they showed Dorothy at the beginning. Because I'm like, how the fuck did you even get that? Do you even know Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton? Because they have Dorothy at the beginning.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
Okay, I'm just saying. Like, this is my list.
I'm just listening to your reasoning. I'm
Okay.
Like, okay.
So, like, they only use it once, and of course, everyone gets swept away, by the way. Terrible movie. Twisters is better than Swept Away. And so, pro. I got to see Frankenstein. Terrible movie from the 30s. Just kidding. It's actually a glorious movie. And it gets sucked out. And I got to see somebody. So I'll roll this all into one. The amount of scenes that people are holding somebody as they're like getting sucked up, but they're not getting sucked up. Because I'm like, oh, the physics. As long as you're apparently low to the ground, like, it's fine.
Yeah, as long as you don't let air get under you.
The amount of people, the amount of cars, the amount of everything that got sucked up. As long as you're crawling, like you're like in the military, like, you're good. You're fine. Because Glenn Powell, like, he's fantastic at it. And he gets almost killed like 5 times. But he's too sexy. So I'll give that.
He's got
like,
plot
4th
armor.
one.
No, there's definitely heavy plot armor in this movie. But I feel like the original one also did have a fair amount of plot armor. So it's like, whatever. It's for me, it's hard to fault the movie for some of the bad plotting. Because, or not, I don't want to say bad plotting, but cliche
Is there
plotting.
a plot?
Yeah, I mean, it's very cliche plot because the main thing is we're here is for the tornadoes. And if it gives us 5, I feel like
But
the original one
when it
gives
starts
us.
with the F5, I'm like, come on.
But the original one started with an F5. You just don't really see it that
Kinda.
much, and you don't really see the F5 that much in this one either. Like, you see a little bit of it, but it's mostly rain, at the beginning. And honestly, when the fucking tree trunk or whatever hits their fucking windshield for that jump scare that they give you, like, that got me. Like, I was kind of zoning out a little bit there at the beginning, and then when they hit me with that, I was like, all right, motherfuckers, I'm paying attention.
See, like I said, that was like the best scene in the movie, and that in the pool scene.
But
and I do like how con and pro is the fact that there's a guy arguing about his goddamn hotel price. Well, there's a tornado going on, and his wife is right there going like, 9 out of 10 times it's not a tornado. When there's like a tornado like right outside. And then like Glenn Powell and like the
well,
other
I think
girl
that
are
was
like,
maybe to illustrate some of the ignorance that some people have around.
I mean, there's like
tornadoes.
literally a tornado outside.
Yeah, I mean, well, she doesn't care because she's not. You know what I mean?
Everyone's
like,
stupid.
Well, she's stupid. Yeah, sure. But yeah, I think some people are
until something flies through the window.
If you live in an area that gets like frequent tornado warnings or whatever, and like it doesn't happen, it kind of becomes like boy who cried wolf thing.
You're giving this woman way too much credit.
I am giving her way too much credit.
She's a Karen.
But I'm also saying,
and the poor guy,
it's not like out of the realm of believability for me.
You know what? In this day and age, that's true.
You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, of course, there's gonna be ignorant like she's probably QAnon.
But there's literally a tornado outside. Like if you just like turned your head to the left, It's like, oh, there's a
well,
tornado.
it's also dark, and I don't really think you could see it too well out there with the lightning. Though again, they kind of
all the power goes.
You want to say
out.
callback? Like I thought that was whole scene was a great callback to the night tornado that you have. In
See,
the
that's
original.
another con. I was like, I wish there was more callbacks. I'm like, the movie theater
But
scene.
I thought that was a great callback.
Like I said, I wish there was more of that because, like, when you actually see the tornadoes, I'm like, hell yeah. And then I'm like, okay, science, love. No, I'm watching Twisters. I want to see more. you need to have like a little bit in between, because Glenn Powell just keeps showing up everywhere with Kate, and Kate with like her. I just have a bunch of sodium, and if it goes up into the atmosphere and goes with the moisture, it'll destroy the tornado.
Yeah, science experiments and all that. Yeah, no, and don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I was like waiting for them to be like, well, here's some connection to the first movie. But honestly, I'm like, look, it's made, almost,
I wish at least
almost 30 years after the original movie.
I wish Helen Hunt at least showed up.
It was made 30 years after the original. Honestly, I'm not that chafed about them not having that many callbacks or references to the original. You know what I mean? Because it's like, to me, it was like, well, let's make kind of our own story with a few winks to the original one, but like we're gonna try and
see, that's one of the cons. There were not enough winks.
But to me, I don't feel like this is a movie for winks, right? Like,
but if it's called literally Twisters with the same exact font,
they had some though. Like,
how many? There's like two. They had Dorothy at the beginning. They had like the movie theater scene.
So okay, here's
about it.
Okay, Michael. Here's some winks. Like how you have almost like two crews of storm chasers.
That's true.
And how I liked how this one they kind of flip it on its head, where you start off with the asshole team, and then you get introduced
but then
to the
you still
ragtag
kind of like the main
rowdy
guy.
team.
They never even show what happens to the asshole. Who's apparently running the asshole team? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and see that. Okay, for me, what a con was like for me was kind of just again cliche mustache twirling. How that guy was, like the nose, where he's like, "I don't care about the people." It's just like, okay, that's really a little too on the nose.
Oh, the dude, like
for the
literally
villain. I'm like,
oh yeah, no. So that guy, yeah, but the guy who was actually running the thing, the insurance fraud.
Yeah,
I mean, he literally has like this giant medal, like, on his chest, like not even a belt buckle. It's like, who is this guy? He doesn't even have like one line.
Barely any speaking
lines. His name's
like
Riggs,
Yeah, he's just there to be like the kind of the big bad or whatever.
And then Javi is like, I don't like this, It's like,
but it changed your heart at the last minute.
Because and I love how like Javi and Glenn Powell or Tyler, they like run at what's her name, Kate, at the end. It's like, who's gonna save her? I'm just like, oh, is this like a gangbang about to happen? It's just like, is she okay? After she like nukes the tornado, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, when she does the tornado bomb.
She keeps hitting the button. I will say another pro. I could watch Glenn Powell shoot fireworks into a tornado for 5 hours straight.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, again, like, it seemed like it was trying to take kind of things that were interesting about the original one and kind of amped it up. So like this time it's like, well, we have a character that drives into fucking tornadoes and like drills his shit down into it and like,
physics
wades it out, and like his whole truck's reinforced for this. Like it's like his whole thing, and like,
sweet
all right,
truck.
Cool. Like that to me, like that was kind of cool. So like to me, there's enough winks in this movie, right? Like you have the two sort of teams. Similar structure there. One's ragtag. One's in it for like, for the people. One's in it for the money. The same, again, like kind of a big wink right there, like right there in the plot. And then on top of that, you have like 5 basic set pieces throughout the movie, maybe 6. I think the first one counts as like one tornado. And so like, I'm pretty sure there's 5 tornadoes that you get, like in the original one.
Basically.
So again, so I feel like structurally there's a lot that is similar to the first one that stays kind of in that in the spirit of the original. That does feel like a sequel to me, even if it's not like a direct.
More
sequel.
like a reboot-ish to me.
Yeah, sure. But to me, it was like, it didn't feel like they were like trying to tell the same story with the same characters. You know what I mean? It felt like they were trying to tell
like
a
the
new
same
story
movie.
With new characters, building upon some of the stuff we learned.
I felt like
from,
it was like the
I
same
do think it's
story
more of a
almost.
sequel. I don't think it's a reboot. I think reboots generally try to redo maybe similar elements, of the original.
Well, that's
whereas,
exactly what they did.
yeah, but again with new characters and it builds upon that stuff. Like it wasn't just it wasn't
So
just
I don't
a
call
rehash.
it I call it a soft reboot, if that makes sense.
It wasn't just a rehash. You know what I mean? So it's like, and to me,
Because like,
reboots
if
feel
this,
more
if
or
like
less
the original
like
one
that.
happened, Twister 1996 happened nowadays, this is probably what it would be.
Yeah, more or less. But-
YouTube, all that shit.
But yeah. So like, I think they did a good job of.
I like how
making
they have
it
a
more-
drone at one point and they're like flying in the clouds. I'm like, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen to it? It's like, we lost the drone. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, no fucking shit, you lost the drone.
Yeah, and again, like I think, like the original one, like the original one's just kind of fun. It's not perfect, and none of this.
But I
shit
do like how the
is
original one. I
perfect,
feel
but-
like.
No, the thing I like about the original one here, again, what I think makes the original one slightly better for me is I think the score, like in the original one, there's just something about it that's just like kind of whimsical and adventurous. Where even though the subject matter is like it's pretty
Well,
bad.
they kind of did that with the original score and this one, I think. But there was so much like country.
No,
music.
that's what I'm saying. Is in lieu of the only songs that they really had, and the other one was
Van
the stuff
Halen.
that Van Halen, and a lot of it was being played by Dusty
Yeah.
over the speakers,
Mhm.
and it's not like soundtrack over the movie like in
So
this
I
one.
think they were
And
trying
so
to
this one-
establish that in the new one is that like he is playing some of the music. Oh, because like it shows him like he's like cranking
yeah,
up
he
the music.
definitely is for sure.
But it does it too many times. Like you can show it once.
I think it's
to
fine.
establish it.
Yeah, I think it's fine, whatever with him. But there were moments where they're playing literally soundtrack over the where I'm like, dude,
They're
here's
playing like the
you
Oklahoma songs. I'm like, we get
play
it.
get like the orchestral score in there because like in the
Right.
original one, some of that orchestral work it's Alan Silvestri.
It's
does
actually
the music.
pretty good.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Alan Silvestri might do the music in it. Let me look it up.
All right, David's gonna look it up. I think it is.
I was watching Contact this morning, so it might have been that movie instead.
I was
thinking
like,
from the
you might
credits.
be wrong. I'm not gonna say yes. I should have just been like yes and. That's what you typically do on a show like this. But we try to make sure all of our shit is accurate.
Who did the Twister music?
Who did the Twister music? That should be the name of the episode.
Oh my god, music from the motion. Like they really remember how they used to do like those soundtracks. Now it's like not what I need. Score, composer.
Look up Twister on Wikipedia.
Okay, so it's definitely not Alan Silvestri.
Okay, that's why I'm glad I didn't say yes because I was trying to.
So it
now-
must have
or
been.
back
I
then.
must be thinking of Contact. I think that may have been. Alan
So it's
Silvestri
some
with
random
Contact.
guy, but point is, soundtrack.
Mark Mancina.
There you go, greatest composer of all time. All right, so that's all we need to know. Good for him. Van Halen did the best part of it, though.
But I'm
Sorry,
saying
Mark.
though the work in it's actually really good. Like the score
Oh, yeah, well, like,
in
when
the
you have, like,
original
the-
one is really good. And so I like again my point being like I don't think the score kind of hit as hard in this one. And I think like you kind of need it in some of those moments that would really punctuate some of the emotional, because remember I don't know, when's the last time you saw the original one?
Like a month ago.
Yeah, so it's like you remember some of those moments.
Yesterday, earlier today. I watch that movie every day.
I watched mine last night. My rewatch was last night.
You watched mine.
My rewatch.
My Twister.
My dude.
My Twister. My tornado. My dude.
So I was but like listening to the music in it, I was like, man, like I feel like he was just something about it.
So
was
it's like because
a little
basically
better.
the score is always like just when it's those shots of like all the caravan of trucks like just
Well, then you also do have Van Halen at one point. You do get the Van Halen song at one point over one of the
Oh, we should have done Van Halen.
over one of the montages, but
I think there's like two.
for the most part, there's a lot of really good fucking music in it.
I thought the
anyway,
music. Well, see, in the new one, same thing. Like, I actually thought the music was almost too cheerful, because half the time they're like, "We're just driving straight into a tornado," and I think they lost the point of, well, we're doing this because we're supposed to be saving people. It's like, I'm going to shoot some fucking fireworks off into a tornado.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah, no, I
and he
mean-
has YouTube, and the fact that people are following him around.
But so okay, here's the thing. It's not like, to me, it's pretty good, right? Because it for what it is, for a sequel to Twister. Hey man, like you could do a lot fucking worse, right? You know, think
Can
about
always
it
say that.
because the plot, you know what I mean? The plot in the original wasn't like anything innovative or great, you know. So like here, it's like if we're gonna compare it, it's like, well, you don't need a great innovative plot. So already we just can just be like, all right, we're not gonna even. The plot's fine. It gets us to the twisters. Now, how's the action? How's the twister action? Well, I thought it was pretty good.
I wish there was more. That's the thing.
But for what we got, and honestly, I feel like we got a pretty decent amount. Again, almost 5 or 6 set pieces. And
I think
so
there's
it's
like 3 main ones.
so
There's the first one. There's like the pool scene. And then see the other ones, I mean, they're set piece. Let's see, because
I consider
they made
any
the tornadoes.
unique tornado a set piece.
What I didn't like is that, like, we'll see, to that point, is that I think the tornadoes they made feel less dangerous until it suited the plot. Because they're like, the part when it's like, oh, we got twins. And they're just driving around, like, everyone's joking around, like, this is a fucking tornado. No one's scared. Like, nobody, it's like, oh, yeah, there might be a town nearby. No one gave a fuck. They're just like, who's going to get there first? And the first one, every tornado, like, fucked shit up. In this one, there was at least 2 or 3 instances of a tornado just like, oh, here it is, and then it goes away. You know, it's like, oh, here's a tornado. And,
Yeah.
like, the sun's out. That's the other thing.
Well, that's also maybe
The
a bit
sun
more
was way too
realistic, right? Like, sometimes tornadoes don't do a ton of fucking damage. You know,
But they were, like,
the
too
EF1s
happy
are-
about it.
I don't know.
I don't think they treated the tornadoes as, like,
with respect.
yeah. I mean, it's a
The
fucking
nature's
tornado.
awe.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Like, I feel like some of it was meant to illustrate that, you know, his rig was able to withstand some of these tornadoes.
Well, but then the other people seemed like they were fine too. Like, I feel like almost everyone drove into a tornado in that movie.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so.
I
but-
mean, like, that's the climax of the movie. Spoiler alert.
well, she's doing that in his truck, though.
This is true. I do like how she stole the one guy's truck at one point. I'm like, yo, this fucking bitch stole this guy's truck. And then she does give the keys back, like, sorry, I stole your truck. And I was like, all right, good. Somebody noticed that
yeah.
plot hole. Like, sorry, Javi. Because that's what's like, I lost 3 of my best friends to a tornado. She's just like, it's your fault. You know, she's like, like, you know.
Well,
just
no,
like
then that's
drives the truck
also
away.
a very big cliche too. There, where the you know the friend throws the tragedy in the main
course.
character's face. You know what I mean?
Wait, no, I didn't mean that.
In a heated emotional moment, they their better judgment they lack their better judgment
Yeah.
to say something that they regret. Yeah, it was pretty cliche, but again, naders. We're there for some naders.
That's what I'm saying. I wanted more.
I feel
I wish they would have put the googly eyes on the tornadoes.
personally, I was pretty.
And they all fight each other.
I was pretty satisfied with what we got. Personally, I'm not saying you have to be. You could have wanted more tornadoes.
I
but
wanted more.
I think it didn't. You know what I mean? Like we got to plenty, and then in the moments where we didn't have them, I also wasn't super bored either. So I'm like, the movie is fine. You know,
Oh, it's
'cause
very,
that
very
was really what I
entertaining.
was worried about. Was like in the in between moments when the non-action sequences. Am I gonna be bored to fucking tears here? And I wasn't. So I'm like, all right. So you did your job. You know what I mean? You got
So-
us from point A to point B to
Exactly.
point C without being super boring, and we got to see some good tornadoes. So like I was
So
satisfied.
the way I would describe the movie is like kind of like candy.
yeah,
like I
like
said.
and kind of like the original one.
And
was.
sometimes you need that. I'm like, it's a summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had a smile on my face the whole entire goddamn movie.
I don't know if I
Yes,
did.
I could
but,
watch.
I enjoyed it for sure. Like
Oh, because David never smiles.
I'm,
But
I'm
like,
a miserable bastard.
yeah, it's like he's a misanthrope. That's right.
Misanthrope.
And I don't know what I said. Missing Pope. I think I said first. Oh, I did see a preview for like this movie, like about a pope. What the fuck is that?
The Ray Fiennes movie.
Yeah, what is that called? Like
Oh
Coven.
my god. I love the fucking line at the end of that trailer. I was like, holy shit.
What
I was
did
like,
he say?
what is this movie?
It looks weird.
I can't remember what it is.
They're
but
like
it's something
bombing. They're like bombing the fucking Vatican.
It says something to the effect of, if there were no mystery, then there would be no requirement for.
Oh, and he's saying something. He's like, it's basically, he's like, truth. Basically, he's saying like, hey, you gotta have faith because if you're smart and like things make sense, that doesn't make sense, but you gotta have faith.
No, that's not what he says at all. But
I
what
know,
it is, like,
but like that's what I'm saying.
trying to actually say what it's something to the effect of like.
Of course, that's not what he says, dumbass.
Mystery. Without mystery, you
can't have faith. Oh, see, you don't even know. So like, I like my line better.
Yeah, I don't even know.
You gotta have faith.
But it basically is a very good, in a very succinct way, explains kind of like why basically nuance is important, in understanding, because like you're never going to get to the exact truth of anything.
I guarantee you, the end of the movie, it turns out Ray Fiennes does everything.
He's the evil one.
Of course, he's the evil pope.
He's the secret pope. The Joe Biden pope.
Joe Pope.
The Jope.
God damn it. All right, enough of that. I mean, but seriously, like, I still, like, even watching the preview, like, my mom and I were, like, looking at each other, like, oh, this movie looks intriguing.
Scandalous.
Yeah, it's just like, ooh, there's Pope. I like even how the preview just started, and it's like, oh, something happened. I'm like, oh, yeah, is that the Pope who just died? And it's like, the Pope has just died. Like, the next thing that's said, I'm like, well, I can see where this movie's going. Death to Pope. Sorry, Pope. I mean, don't you have, like, someone in, like, succession? Isn't that the way the Pope works? Like, what is this movie about?
It seemed like it was a murder investigation or something like that.
Okay. I mean, I can see
seemed
that.
like he was investigating the cause of death of the Pope, and so, like, perhaps
he
there
didn't
was
have a gunshot wound.
foul play involved.
Involving birds on the foul.
It's like Knives Out, except with the Pope. Just kidding. Did you ever see Knives Out?
Nope. I refuse to. I hate that director.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like all right, but it's a bit.
I do kind of want to see it.
It's a bit contrived.
But I'm like, I do love
contrived.
I do love Clue, and I hear it's just like in a more adult version of Clue, and
I don't know about that, but it's like a bit contrived.
so I don't know because I haven't seen it. Because Rian Johnson, I'm sorry, I'm like, I did like Looper, but man, you killed my boy Luke Skywalker in the worst fucking way. I will never forgive you.
I mean, yeah, there's just, well, I don't necessarily blame him for that, because a lot of that comes down to, I just feel like, poor overall management of the franchise.
I blame him.
Because, like, you know what I mean? The quality of everything is so poor that it's like, it's hard to really lay it at his feet, because, again, if you have the proper management and leash and planning, then he's not going to go and do certain things. You know what I mean? Like,
why the fuck would you, like, we're not, like, no.
We don't
like,
have to litigate.
No, we're not going to.
Why
no, for like
the,
one
the
second.
Last
we'll
Jedi is the worst possible thing.
If you've listened to any of our
happen.
podcasts, you know that we all hate that movie. I'm just like, it's like PTSD almost.
It's like Rashomon.
Exactly. Except for not at all. But
well, it does try and do that.
who would have thought that like there would be a Twister sequel that was better than any of the Star Wars sequels?
Well, you know, I think a part of it is it's
This is Biden's America. Not anymore.
Amblin Entertainment is involved with that property.
You know, it's funny, when I saw that earlier, I'm like, I didn't even know that was still a thing. When I saw that motherfucker trying to fly his bicycle, I was like, God damn. Good job.
Yep, Spielberg.
I know I'm here.
Spielberg has a hand in
I got
Twister.
some quality coming in.
ILM did the effects in the original one too. So I wonder if they actually ILM did these effects. They may not have.
Well, because
But
the
I
two
heard
main ones are Weta or Weta. I don't know how to pronounce
Whatever.
it. And
Yeah,
then
whatever.
ILM. Because
So-
Weta became the big dog for a while, but I think they're kind of like equal nowadays.
So I think Spielberg having a hand in it does kind of mean that there's going to be at least certain level of quality when it comes to certain things. So it's like, yeah, it's the effects, and I thought everything was pretty well done. You know what I mean? It's not, again, not a perfect film. Neither was the original. So it's like, to me, I feel like it's
Wait a minute. Stop. You're telling me Twister is
last
the
one-
perfect film?
The last one was,
How dare you.
elevated by, Bill Paxton. He's just so great. So it's like it's hard to put this one above that. But to me they're probably on par with each other. Just about. I think maybe Twister's inevitably a sequel is going to be lacking in some categories.
I will say the original
it's
one.
fine.
You get more of like
Go see it. Give it your money.
Oh, you should, because like I said, like there's worse movies that have gotten money.
Who cares at this point? Biden's dropping out.
Yeah, we're dead. But see, in the first movie, you get to see more, and it's more unrealistic. You get to see more of like the twisters, But in this one, it's just kind of like a bunch of clouds flying around. It's like, well, that's actually what it probably would look like. But I'm like, God damn it, give me some twisters.
I want those growls.
I want some Twizzlers.
Whoa.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, those the Twisters in the original one growl. They make noises like when they're on the ground.
Sometimes. Same thing like that. I always think about when in the movie Titanic, when it breaks apart, it's just like gunshot noises. I'm like, I don't think it sounded like that. It's like bang, bang, bang. It starts breaking apart. And then, of course, Lovejoy falls down. But literally, it's gunshot noises. And James Cameron's like, oh, yeah, I was at a gun range and we just recorded
It just sounds like, I'm sure things sounded like that.
And
The
same
boat
thing,
breaking
like when the
apart.
ship is finally sinking, it's just like, it's like, oh, yeah. It's like, it's the ship's last gasp.
Moo.
Moo. See, that's the other reason, the con, is first and last, no cows. I like how I just hit.
For one, am glad there were no cows. But
Why?
No cows were
Get outta here.
harmed in the making of this film.
You're telling me. I don't give a fuck about a cow. We could have eat it. It could have fed a family.
I'm just, it's actually kind of sad to see the cows flying around,
Well, they killed the chickens.
It means those cows are going to die.
Well, they're all gonna die.
I don't want those cows to die by a tornado. Why, you sadistic bastard.
Telling me.
Sick. You're fucking sick.
All cows die.
You deserve to be eaten by a cow.
What do cows eat other
For your
than
crimes
grass?
against bovine kind.
Bovine kind.
The bovine.
Good episode.
Close Encounters of the Bovine.
Shut up. Stop while you're ahead. The bovine.
Moo, 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 moo.
God damn it. Moo, 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 moo. Yeah, what if you could put every movie in history and just put a cow in it? Say Jaws, because Steven Spielberg.
Jaws.
It's just
moos.
moo. It just moos.
Moos.
Moo moo.
Cows.
Moo 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 moo. A fucking cow. Ah! Tore that little boy up.
It's just in a cornfield. You just see a cow.
Moo 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 moo.
See the
moo,
top
moo,
of its
moo,
ears
moo,
coming
moo,
through the
moo,
cor-
moo, moo, moo.
It
It could be like Halloween, Instead of the piano, it just moos. This cow is walking on two legs.
Mooker Miles. I don't know.
Oh no, that's too far.
Michael Moores.
Michael Moo. Moo Myers.
Michael Moores.
Then you got the Moo on Elm Street. God damn it.
Yeah, we're gonna
When I sleep.
give it up. Yeah.
No, but what's another? Shoot.
Mooper Man.
Jurassic Park. Everything's just a giant cow. Moo 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 moo. You take the glasses off.
All right.
That's a giant cow.
I think,
Hey, you
I think
started
we've
this.
milked this topic enough.
Have we? We're thirsty.
Yeah. Well, we're
I think
we just passed the hour mark.
Well, they're removed. I hope you're removed by this episode. There's been a lot going on in the world.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah. So what?
Yeah, oh, that was a great thing. What? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't really know, folks. I don't think it's gonna be okay.
Oh God.
I think everyone needs to be scared.
I think we're all done die.
I think fear is the best way to live your life.
Moo.
Just be scared of everything all
Just
the
be a
time.
cow.
I'm sure you'll make rational decisions.
Gotta ration those cows.
I'm sure you'll be
Hungry.
of sound mind. No, but seriously, you know what I mean? Like, chill. Chill, folks.
Yeah. Drink some milk.
People are just shooting at the president. Just chill.
Oh, God, Jesus.
Just fucking chill. All right?
Our current president is not the president anymore. He
don't want to be president.
He don't want to be president.
Even if he is, you don't want to be. He's
And
just
so
like,
we got tornadoes. We got no president. We got our last president getting shot at.
I got my
Moo.
I got my ticket for Deadpool and Wolverine
Random. Aside.
because I'm a MCU nerd.
Is it in the MCU even? I think it is. I'm sure they're going to do all sorts of stuff.
They have access to everything.
Have access to the moon.
But see, it's gonna be
Moosey view.
what you know what it's gonna be is everyone's like hyping it up to that it's gonna be like it's gonna be this, that, and the other because it deals with like it references like the TVA. It's like multiple timelines, blah blah blah
I've
blah.
heard that.
But here's what it's gonna do because this is every Deadpool movie's been. Every Deadpool movie's been pretty small scale.
Yeah.
And so it's just gonna be that.
See, that's what I'm curious about.
But
I hope they don't go too over the top
with
and like,
with a bunch of winks and nods to all the things that they have access to now because of all the deals that have been made and all the mergers and everything. So they can reference all these characters now and have a bunch of cameos and stuff. But it's not going to be anything too super deep. You know what I mean? It's all going to be probably some real quick stuff, and nothing that's going to be a real huge impact on like the greater MCU.
oh yeah, I feel like the movie will not
storyline.
impact.
Like, I don't think they're going to do anything like that.
I mean, the only thing they could do is like, because remember now, Marvel has rights to the X-Men.
Exactly.
So the only thing they could do is like Wolverine's gonna like die at the end, and then
Again.
it's like here I know, right? And then and then it's like, and here comes the X-Men. Like that might be the ending. That might be like the mid-credit scene. But they have all been reasonably small scale, so I'm hoping. Yeah, because we can't have like a Avengers level threat when it comes to
It's
Deadpool.
it's not going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like if they do that, it's going to ruin it. I don't think they're going to. It seems like it'll be fine.
I'm sure. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds has enough
Bullshit.
restraint. You know what I mean? He. I have a feeling he knows he's not going to bite off more than he can chew for like his first like official MCU project because he probably wants to continue to make.
Apparently,
movies.
there's Disney jokes in there, so I'm
Apparently,
I'm curious.
I'm sure he wants to continue, and unless he wants to retire the character, I don't know. But like, I'm pretty sure he wants to keep doing Deadpool.
That
Like,
could happen too.
I almost feel like
I mean, he is
why?
Deadpool.
Yeah, like what do you get? What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So like.
I would love to be Deadpool.
Anyway, like my point being, like, I think he's gonna, try and do the best job he can. Give them what they want. Right? This is the only MCU release this year, I think. Right? Yeah, because Falcon or whatever, the Captain.
Yeah, that's
Falcon
next year.
is
Yeah,
next year. Yeah.
that actually looks halfway decent. I like how Marvel. I mean, halfway, maybe like not even halfway, but like it's got Harrison Ford in it. So I'm like,
switched the samples after Lentz died.
you'll never be Steve Rogers. No, I won't. It's like, no shit. Okay, I get it. He gave him the shield.
So you could get
First of all,
Pravasic.
First of all, is Steve Rogers like he's not dead? He was just old. Like, where is he? Like, shouldn't he like
Who
have some
cares?
sort of say? Like, what if he became like a congressman? Steve Rogers, attorney at law.
Whatever. I don't care about Steve.
Steve Rogers goes to Washington. What do you mean? He's Captain America.
He's dead as far as I'm concerned.
He's not dead. He's.
Chris Evans said, "I'm out." So I'm like, I don't really, you know what I
I'm
mean?
not saying he's going to be
his-
back in.
I respect his decision to
but
just
I'm just
be
saying,
gone.
just character-wise, I'm not saying he's going to come back.
Be gone. Be out of my sight. You want to quit?
But wouldn't
You
that be
wanna leave
cool
The family?
if it was Steve Rogers goes to Washington?
No, it
He's
wouldn't.
like here in Congress, and I would
Shut
I
up.
would watch the fuck out of that movie more than like the new Falcon Captain
Captain Falcon. I don't want to watch that at all.
Yeah,
I'd rather watch.
Captain Falcon.
I'd rather watch The Fugitive. You know what they should do? They should like
I'd
remake
rather
the.
watch The Fugitive.
They should-
I'd rather watch
they should-
Independence Day
They should
or
just remake The
Aliens.
Fugitive and then have like, but with like a comic book character, and that would be better.
Like the Hulk.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
That's really random. Like The Fugitive. Okay, so what are some movies that like you could just put a comic book character into?
And then you have like the Avengers are like Tommy Lee Jones and like this crew.
yeah, what if he is the Hulk?
The
It's
U.S.
like,
Marshals?
I don't care. I'm always angry.
Yeah, exactly.
No. What if he's just his fugitive character in every single Marvel movie? It's like in Thor.
It's a U.S. Marshal.
He's like Odin.
That'd be funny. Yeah, he's just like he has no superpowers. He's just a U.S. Marshal that's just with
He's
everybody.
always just trying to find
Just
everybody.
Tommy Lee Jones is with them.
I'm Thor, the god of thunder.
And he's got,
I don't care.
and Joey Pants is with him too. You know, he's got his crew.
Yeah, can you imagine? That's the line in every movie. I don't care. I didn't kill my wife. Can you imagine? Iron Man just randomly says
I didn't
that.
kill my wife. I don't care. And it's true, he didn't care.
He didn't.
No,
That's why he said it.
Remember at the end when he says, he's like, "You really did care." He's just like, "Don't tell anybody," or something like that.
I totally cared.
He's like, "Yeah, but don't tell
I like
anybody."
the wink, you know. It's just like, you know. Sorry for like
And
waste.
don't go around telling people that
Thanks.
I'm caring.
Thanks for wasting my time. Or it's like, yeah, what if it's just Tommy Lee Jones, like all of his characters? Like you have like his monologue at the end of like No Country for Old Men, you know? It's just like, well, I had a dream the other day. I had 2 dreams. You know? It's like in the middle of like Thor. And then I woke up.
They don't deserve him. What did he star in? Like he was in something in the MCU, wasn't he? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, I don't believe
He's
was.
retired right before any of that.
Is he retired?
Men in Black 3
Should
was
come back.
like 2012,
Oh, yeah, that was forever ago.
2013. But he was in that.
Yeah, and Josh
But
Brolin
a little
did a really
bit,
good impression of
But
him.
Brolin was in it more than him, but like he was still in
That was
it.
the only good part about that movie.
What, Brolin?
Yeah, it's Tommy Lee Jones. Brolin as Jones.
Brolin as Jones. Well, I'm Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes. What we could do is like, take a look at this. Clink. Oh, I wish I had that thing. Do you remember like when Men in Black came out? Like they like would give away the sunglasses. Everyone thought it was so fucking cool. Came like with the book. And you can get the fake plastic like memory eraser thing.
Dude, how did Will Smith go from being so cool to like not being cool at all?
Oh, because he slapped Chris Rock on stage.
He was not cool long before that, though.
It's because his wife was fucking like his.
It's her, isn't it? She's.
Oh, yeah.
It was her.
He sucked. She sucked.
When
his
did
soul
she?
out.
When did they get married? When did they get
Decades ago.
When did they get
been-
involved?
They've been forever
Forever.
together.
Together forever.
Jada Pinkett. Is that her real last name? Pinkett. And then she got Tupac killed, right? Wait, I shouldn't say that because they're going to come for me.
Yes.
So they've been together for like...
After meeting in the early 90s, the couple went public with their relationship in 95 before tying the
What?
knot in 97 in
Jesus
Baltimore.
Christ. So it's been like 30 fucking years.
But that
Dude.
is right around the time where it started to decline, like Wild Wild West.
I was like, we had Independence Day.
She
Bad
sunk her
Boy.
claws in them because when did Men in Black come out?
The first one was 1999, I believe. Or 98. No, 97.
97, the
Yeah.
year that they get married. So it was shot in probably 96 before they get married. That's the point.
Then you get Wild Wild West.
What's
Remember-
good after that?
There's got to be something. I mean, I Am Legend is halfway good. I Robot.
Name the last time you wanted to actually go watch I Am Legend or
Robot's
anything.
okay.
Bad Boys 95.
Well, Bad Boys 2 is 2003, and that movie sucks, but I enjoy it.
But again, you're right. The movie sucks.
It's like 2.5 hours long when there's like literally 10 minutes of plot in the movie.
Will Smith filmography.
I never even saw the movie.
Enemy of the State was 98. And that wasn't very good.
That was mediocre.
Wild Wild West, The Legend of Bagger Vance,
Oh my god.
Ali.
Ali's okay.
It's the
I directed
best
that.
thing out of all of those.
I directed it.
Men in Black 2, Bad Boys 2, Jersey Girl, iRobot, Saving Face,
He's in
Shark
Jersey
Tale,
Girl?
Hitch, ATL.
Oh my god.
I don't know
Hitch.
if he's in it.
People
No.
love Hitch, and I do not.
No, he's not in Saving Face or ATL, but he is a producer. Pursuit of Happiness, I Am Legend.
Pursuit of Happiness is not bad.
I don't ever watch that movie.
It's not.
I
It's
never
like one of
rewatched
those,
it.
like, you know,
No, see, after
sanctimonious, like, kind of like movies. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay. Yes, he struggled and he got his shit together.
Sorry, just Bad Boys, Independence Day, Men in Black was his Bulls run.
It's true. Like, and the Bulls were there. Michael Jordan should have been in those movies.
Like,
instead.
that was, yeah, I mean, he was doing his Bulls run while the Bulls were doing their Bulls run.
Dude, Independence Day. Oh, man.
But then he just, after,
I could have been at a barbecue.
I don't know, man, like, that's the clear decline. Because, like, all those movies, like, fucking Men in Black fucking rules. Independence Day fucking rules. Bad Boys, pretty sick.
I like Bad Boys 2 better.
Really?
Personally. Oh, yeah.
I like Bad Boys 2 better.
Well, there's the part when, like,
I probably should go rewatch those. I haven't seen them.
I mean, they're pretty bad. And they're bad boys.
Of course, dude.
For life.
It's right there in the title, Michael. Come on, man.
But I mean, there's the one scene where, like, Martin Lawrence's daughter has this guy coming to take his, her on a date.
Yeah, of course. Everyone knows that.
Such a good
yeah.
scene. Such a good scene. And then the rest
Everyone
of the movie
knows.
is just slow motion cars exploding, flipping around, and I'm like, I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I can do it. It's Michael Bay. I'm like, what the fuck do you expect?
Fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, Michael Bay. Yeah.
What's the best Michael Bay movie?
Yeah.
I know what you know.
Transformers.
Hell no. Oh, come on, We both agree. There's only one answer.
The Rock.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, there is something. I was like, wait, he did make
It's the
something
only good movie he made. I could not give that order.
Put it down, soldier.
I could not give that order. Sir, we do not want to do this.
Ed Harris. Michael Biehn. The Standoff.
Oh, dude, it's so good. That movie's actually also was like, I just...
Sean Connery.
Welcome to the Rock.
As Alan Quatermain. I'm just kidding.
It's like, I totally just escaped from the Rock.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Is the last movie he ever did. And he's like, I fucking hate movies now.
This makes me want to quit.
So I did. Fuck this shit. I'm Sean Connery.
All right. So, do you think
guess that's it.
do you want to wrap it up for this week?
Well, it's been a strange week. It's been a very whirly.
Subscribe on Patreon.
Anywhere else, YouTube,
Patreon.
Patreon.
Dude.
Yeah, give us money.
Yeah, Patreon. The one's funny. I think I may have put like a free tier in there. I don't know.
iTunes,
So, like, if you just don't even want to give us money, you can just subscribe
YouTube.
at the free tier. Just to give us some subscribers.
subscribe.
Just to inflate our numbers so that it looks like we have subscribers.
Yeah.
Because nobody subscribed to us on Patreon. I have done virtually zero promotion for it. But I've plastered it everywhere on all of our marketing.
It's plastered on me right now.
on our material. Mike has a tattoo.
I did,
I gave it
unfortunately.
to him myself.
It's like a barcode. So if you scan
Yeah,
it.
it's a QR code, yeah, on the
Yeah.
end of it. It goes,
So,
right,
like, bring your phone out and just find me.
goes right to our Patreon.
Lying down on the street, naked and afraid.
Good band.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a TV show.
It is.
I'm just
I was like, I wasn't going to correct you. We've corrected enough.
Yeah. But I wish I was on that TV show
Why?
because I want to show off my
Oh, shut up. I was like, that's why. I was like, so not the afraid part. I just want to be naked.
I want to get a mace because I'm sure you get
Just
real
do porn.
cut.
If you want to get money.
I'm sure you get real cut on that show because you're not eating, so you get kind of like that emaciated Jesus look.
Is that the name of the episode?
Emaciated Jesus look. I'm pretty sure may have stolen that from like It's Always Sunny.
Oh, well.
Because that's what I'm pretty sure Dennis says that at some point.
It's still funny.
The emaciated Jesus look.
I
It's hilarious, Michael, that Jesus suffered and died for your sins.
He did. And I look like more like Jesus.
Fucking heathen.
I am.
Christ.
God damn it. End this episode.
All right. Good night.